So today we're going to talk about something that is, I think, very valuable for anybody that is wanting to run a play using FlowChat. And so we're going to talk about lead magnets. If anyone doesn't know what a lead magnet is, it's just basically a free give that has some value that you give to your prospect before they start consuming. And there's a lot of facts out there that talk about if somebody consumes 7 hours of your content, they will be very probable to buy your stuff. And so, what I wanted to talk about today, I think, is a really unique topic because most people think about lead magnets. What could I do? Well, you could build a survey, you could do a quiz, you could do a PDF with like really good information. And so, that last one that I just mentioned, most people, when they build a lead magnet, they put it on a Google Doc or they put it on a PDF and then they send it to their client after they ask. Well, that's okay. But what happens is if you can take that lead magnet and you can create an immersive experience that your prospect can go through where they actually feel like they're part of it and they're experiencing something different instead of just like reading a piece of paper, you can get tremendous traction on it. And so today, what I'm going to be walking through is the exact thing that I just did, is how to transform your lead magnet into an immersive experience. So I assume you guys can see my slides. Maybe just give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to talk about how to transform your lead magnet into an immersive experience. And the goal for today is really something I think is very unique. Now, I study a guy named Chris Do, if you know who he is. He is a stunner in the personal branding space, and he always talks about building brand affinity with your clients. Brand affinity, there's kind of an old way to do it and now a new way to do it. And I think if you can use this idea of turning a PDF lead magnet into an immersive experience, you can build brand affinity with your client. So just quickly defined, brand affinity simplified is reflects the way that customers feel about a particular company. And there's three things that we need to do or really focus on to build really good brand affinity. The first one is when we are communicating with any prospect or client, we need to make sure that we understand their story. So we have to have two ears and one mouth, use them in proportion. Secondly, we need to make something that they actually want, that moves the needle in their business, that gives them the result that they're looking for. And then lastly, and I think most importantly, is if you can give them a story to tell someone else. The number one way to go viral anywhere at any time is if you can give somebody else or empower somebody else the ability for them to look cool in front of their friends by giving them a cool story or something that you can share with them that they can then pass on that makes them look good, but it also edifies what you're doing. So the idea here is understanding their story, making what they want, and then giving them a story that they can share out to the world. That's how shares happen. And if you can get at your business, the golden magic metric, if you want infinite growth without doing anything, is if you can create some piece of content, lead magnet, whatever, that gets 1.2 shares for one person that looks at it. So for every person you share it with, they share it to either 1.2 people, your business will grow infinitely, right? So that's the magic number. So what's in it for you today? Number one is just enhanced prospect engagement, which I think is really valuable. We want to increase the lead quality. Jim just kind of shared that with us. And then lastly, increased conversion percentage. How do we do this? Well, we create this environment where our nurture is immersive and our nurture gives them the people like, oh my God, like this is solving a problem and I want to keep moving forward. So those are pretty awesome things that we're going to get out of this session today. So a couple of myths that most people have when we talk about turning like PDF into an immersive experience. The first thing they say is, Sean, I need excessive tech skills. And while that used to be true, these days, we don't particularly have to rely so much on our own ability to have the skills to do the thing. What we can do now, because we have the power of automation and AI, we can just rely on the different tech that's out there. There's a lot of easy tech that you can use that sets up to do everything really quickly for you. Secondly, if you can record and upload, you are good. This method I'm about to share is so simple, it's really easy, and anyone can deploy it really quick. Secondly, the other myth is maybe some people say to me, Sean, my lead magnets are good. I like the PDFs. I like the Google Docs. It's overkill for my ICP to build this or do what you're sharing today. And what I would say to that is clients these days or potential clients expect more nowadays than they've ever expected before. And they want it easy and done for them, right? And the next thing we have to talk about is we want to give them a process that guides them naturally, that's non-salesy. A lot of times when you deliver a lead magnet to somebody, what happens is they throw it in the trash can, or they delete the email, or they never look at it. And then you get back on the phone with them if they don't ghost you. And eventually they're like, oh yeah, I didn't even have time to look at that. So if we can change this into a process that's very short, simple, and gives them a result, that's a guiding process, and it starts playing into the 7 hours of giving someone something that they can immerse into, to where they'll come back and actually invest with you. And lastly, it's what makes you viral, right? It gives you a story that they can share, because if you give them an immersive experience that they enjoyed and it moved the needle, guess what? They're going to go tell their friends. It's like if you tell your friends and family about this really cool new restaurant that they had, and it's like, I got there and then the dessert was incredible. They blowed it over. There was fire and all this other stuff. It's a story that makes those people want to go through that process. And so we're trying to replicate that same process by building lead magnets. So quick question in the chat roll with me. Which do you prefer? Somebody gives you a piece of paper, lead magnet says, absorb this, this will solve all your problems. Or if they put you in a place where you're getting the virtual reality in your face all up, where you're like, oh my God, this thing's going to eat me. And then the carpet keeps feeding right into the system. What's happening? This is incredible. Like, yes, everybody would choose the second part, right? Kind of rhetorical question, but again, answer it for yourself in the chat roll. This reminds me of Hotworks. If Mishi, I think he just joined today. He's on the call with us today. He's one of my dear, he's my brother. And he shared with me, he came visited and stayed with me and my wife for a couple of days. And we went through a lot of stuff. And he shared Hotworks. And I didn't know what Hotworks was. And Hotworks, if you are unfamiliar, is a newer chain of athletics. And what it is they put you into this infrared hot ass sauna, and they make you do exercise, right? And it'd be like stretching or Pilates or cycling, or you can see here's like calisthenics bikes or all kinds of different things. And Hotworks is incredible. And I didn't really know what it was about. And the last time I had an experience with a hot thing, my wife drugged me into a hot yoga room. And first time I made it, the second time I tried it, I blacked out. And then the third time I went through it, I puked. And so that was like my first experience of going into a hot sauna, hot yoga. And I was like, no way, I'll never do this ever again. And then Mishi came and stayed with me, and he's like, yo, you got to try this infrared thing. It's pretty amazing. And so, of course, recommendation from a friend. And I show up to the Hotworks, and this is how they drew me in. So I went to this place, and a lady was really cool. She's a student at CU, and she walked me around, and she was talking to me and my wife about this. And she's like, look, you guys don't have a membership. We're going to give you your first free session. And what you should expect on the outside of your free session is you're going to sweat a lot. You're probably going to be a little bit sore. You're going to get dehydrated, but you're going to feel amazing at the end of the session. And so I was like, okay, that sounds cool. I want that result. I went into this first session with my wife, and every single thing that she said hammered. It hit perfectly. And I came out and I was like, whoa, that was different, because infrared wasn't as hot as hot yoga. Hot yoga was like 150 degrees in the room, where this was like 125, but it was infrared. And so it was a little bit different. So I had a really awesome experience. And that one thing led me to, I want more of this. And that's the point of my story here, is like, we need to provide that same experience to our prospects, to where we give them something, guide them through it, and have them say, I want more of this. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you turn a PDF into an immersive experience? And again, very simple to do. Here's the 3 steps. Number 1, we're going to build what we call a 2-stage funnel. So if you've never built a funnel before, but you have a funnel building software, this is going to be an awesome little session for you. If you already know how to build funnels, this will be a snap. The second step is just to film the video, and there's some things I want to share. And then number 3 is just testing and deploying. Boom, easy as that. So let's get into it. First step, here is the diagram of what a 2-stage funnel looks like. Stage 1 is just that place, that landing page, that opt-in page, the squeeze page, whatever you want to call it, where if we're using FlowChat, what we do is we break the ice with somebody, get engagement, and then in the transition part of our conversation, because we always know there's 4 hinge points of every single DM conversation, in the transition, this is where we would say, hey, go check out this thing, and we drop a link. And then they end up here on this first page, stage one, and they start this immersive experience, right? And then, of course, we'll have them download the thing, but before they download the thing, they got to share their name, email, and phone. And then, of course, it goes to the delivery. So I'm going to walk through all of these. Let's talk about stage one. There's a couple of things you need to know. Very simple. Just build 2 pages on a funnel building software of your choice. And these are the things that you want to have. The first thing is we want to talk about in our headline, the big result. So in this particular case, and again, I'll give you the link to this afterwards. You can see, as I'm not quite done with it. I'm still working on it, but harness the core of your business with this ultimate free tool, the secret formula of scaling. Now, any agency owner that wants to scale their business is probably going to pay attention to that and say, that is the result that I want. Secondly, here's a bunch of bonuses that you're going to get. Number one, you're going to get the big result, but these are the other things, the positive side effects that are going to come from this, right? So we just want to go very, very feature benefit here. We want to talk about big result and then bonuses they get when they go through the process. And then, of course, you have an above the fold, meaning when it lands on the page, the button is above where they have to start scrolling down, and that button will take them through the journey. This is the first part of the immersive experience, because if you were just to send them a PDF, they're going to open the doc and that's it. They'll read it and maybe take action or maybe not. But if you push them through an experience that actually sells the lead magnet to them, now they're going to be like, oh, this is exactly what I want. And then maybe they don't click yet and they go down to the next part of proof. Oh man, those are the exact results that I want to get for myself. So then you have a little bit of proof. And then the last thing, I built a little story around Chris here on this page, which I'll show you. So there's a little bit about us at the very bottom. And then, of course, another call to action at the bottom. And then the last thing, the one kick super pro tip here is use the bottom disclaimer area, if you will, as a way to disarm somebody. I'm just going to read this quickly. It says, by reading this, you agree to all of the following. You understand this to be an expression of opinion and not professional advice. That sentence is, this is not salesy at all, right? You are solely responsible for the use of any content and hold FlowChat, its affiliates, and related entities harmless in any event or claim. If you purchase anything through or as a result of this page, you should assume that we have a monetary interest with the product service you purchase and that we'll be compensated in some way. We recommend that you do your own independent research before purchasing anything. Do not purchase anything from FlowChat or its related entities or affiliates if you're not willing to do the work related to installing and implementing the offer. This is not a done for you service. Again, very clear there that disarms everybody. Whoever reads that's going to say, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, this is cool. It's easy. It's free. It's whatever. Right. And so now we've disarmed them. We've given them something to do, click, read through. This is the result that I want. And then from there, they click the button and a box pops up. And this is where we collect their information. That information should be shot directly into your CRM, whichever one that you're managing or using. And then your CRM should start to fire emails at that person and drive them back to stage 2. So take a snapshot of this. This is really important. This is a full picture of the 2-stage funnel system that you can build. And then the second page very simply delivers the thing. So let's move into that. Here it is, right? Stage 2, again, simple is we have a couple of things they can do here. Again, immersive, right? They have a 4-minute, 13-second video that they'll watch that walks them through the actual process of intaking the lead magnet itself. And then you have download your copy and then, of course, book with us here. Now, in that stage 2, the download goes directly to a PDF in a new window. That's one button. And the second button will go directly to calling or booking a page. So this is something that everybody can copy and it will book calls for you. I promise. It's already worked for us. Here's the things that we need to know when we film the video in step 2. First of all, we want to thank you. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to download this thing. I'm really excited that you're here, right? Now we share what's in it for them. WIIFT, what's in it for them. That's what that stands for. And during this video, say thank you really quick. And then we say, here's what you're going to get when you do this. And then we do a simple walkthrough of the thing. And then we say at the end, once you get these results, if you want to accelerate it, book a call with our team, right? And what I always do in this is I open loop everybody at the end. Now, how I open loop is I say, look, like this is going to help you get here, but if you want to move further, we need to talk more. And that's going to push the envelope to say, oh, I got the result, but now I still want more. right? And that's going to drive them to ending up to book a call. Once you have all of those pieces in place, it's as simple as testing and deploying. So first thing, whenever you build a funnel or anything, test your links, check your links, make sure they work, open them in an incognito. I hate to have to say it, but it needs to be said. Secondly, check the video, make sure that it's working, make sure that the thumbnail looks good, check the tracking and the attribution, right? Again, when somebody clicks and gives you their information, you want to make sure that that's sorted out. And then we just deploy it however we're going to deploy it. In this case, we'd probably use a FlowChat pipeline and we'd run them right into the link that would draw them through the immersive experience. And by the way, we can come back in a couple of days and say, how is that 4-minute video? What did you take out of it? Did you use the lead magnet? And then they're like, yes, this is amazing. I want to book a call. Great. You could drop a book a call link right in Messenger and you got them. Or if you're lucky enough, they just booked right off of the 2-step or 2-stage funnel. And then you win, right? You've understood their story in their sales, in your sales copy on that first landing page. You said, here's the big result. This is what you're trying to get. If this is you, move forward, right? Secondly, you provide them a solution because we made what they want. This is how you would do the one little thing before you would buy the bigger thing. And then you gave them an experience. Now they have a story to tell. Oh my gosh, like you've seen that lead magnet that FlowChat just put out? Like it's pretty incredible. It gives me a formula to scale my business. And it's awesome. Go look at this link. And then they share the link and you've just built brand affinity with your clients. And that's how you start to create shareable, scalable, virality with whatever you are building. So with that said, that's all that I'm going to share here. And then what I want to do is I want to walk through this with you guys so you can see this. And I can, again, it's just secretformula.flowchat.com. I can drop it in the chat, but this is the one that I just put together last night. So this is the very first version of this. And again, same thing here. I've got everything that I just shared with you. I've got the testimonials. And then when you come here to download your copy, where do we send your 100% free download? And I would put in my name, my email, and I leave phone. I use first name, email, and phone. I like phone because text hits pretty hard, but I don't make it a requirement, right? So you see the little asterisk there. So when I do an opt-in page, typically it's first name, email, and phone. Sometimes we put in the last name, depending on where it's at. And then we just hit yes, send me the free download. This will now push them into my CRM, which will start firing emails at me, but it also redirects me right to this page here that you see. And then you can see this little video. Do you guys want to watch this 4-minute video? Write yes in the chat roll if you do. And I can actually share the screen with the sound so you can see what it has to offer. So I'll wait for that. The Christian says yes. Oh, so let me just share my sound. Boom, share stereo sound. Cool. So here we go. I'll just play this and in the chat roll. So listen for those things. Again, I thank them. What's in it for them? I walk them through it. And then I give them call to action. And then I open loop them right at the very end. So listen for those things. Here we go. Hey, Sean here, co-founder and CMO of FlowChat. And I just first want to say thank you so much for taking just a second to download the secret formula to scaling. This is a pretty incredible document. And in the next few minutes, I'm just going to walk through exactly how to use this document. This is designed to be fun. This is designed to give you a formula that you can deploy in your business to share with your team so that everybody can get unified and rally around the numbers, because it's always about the numbers, right? So if you scroll right below this video, you'll see a red button and a green button. A red button will take you directly to this page that you see here. On this page, this is the formula, and I want to kind of quickly just run through this. So as you kind of scroll down, you're going to see the first thing that we talk about is the framework. And I think the framework is really important. If we know that we're trying to build a business and really move quickly, what we need to know is how do we create a predictable and consistent way to however many people we put into the system is going to equal the result that we want out. And so in this particular case, we're starting with what we call suspects. Those are people that we think would be a good fit. And then we're going to take them through a qualification process, turn them into a prospect, engage with them, book a call with them, and then make a new client out of that, right? And so that's kind of the framework, but in this case, we're gonna do it a little differently and we work backwards. So whatever piece of paper that you have right next to you, all you wanna do is you wanna write some boxes, and you just make these 5 boxes here. And we're gonna start with new clients. How many new clients do you want each week, each month, each however time frame that you want? Write that number down. And from there, we need to start reverse engineering. And so you can read through this document and do it on your own, but all we need to know is what is your close rate in order to get new clients. If you know that close rate, then you can predict how many calls you need to book in order to get that many new clients. And then from there, we keep going backwards. So the next one is engagement and nurture. So if we know we have a 20% booking rate as an example, and we're trying to book 36 calls to close 10 clients, we're going to need about 180 people that we're engaging and nurturing with at all times in order to always have 36 calls booked so we can create 10 new clients. And from here, if we keep going backwards from the engagement and nurture, how many suspects do we need in order to get to that amount of engagement and nurture? In this case, you can see 10% engaged leads. So if you only had 10% engaged leads, which is probably a really low number, industry average is 20. So you should be well above this, which will be a smaller number here. But let's just say pretend safe number is 10%. Well, that means we need 1,800 prospects. And in order to come up with 1,800 prospects, we just need to figure out how many suspects we need to create that many prospects. And if you have let's say a 66% pre-select rate, where if you said here's 10 people and 6 of those or 7 of those people are actually good people that would buy your stuff, and then the other 2 or 3 or 4 we just say are no good, then it looks like we're going to need about 2,700 prospects in order to create 10 new clients. And you might be saying, whoa, Sean, that's a lot of suspects to go through. But don't be alarmed, right? It's not, right? We have a software that will help you. And so again, this document is really just to give you a starting point and a baseline. And if you truly know your numbers, you can win really, really quickly. And the last thing I'll just share is the other button below this video is a green button. So once you've filled out your numbers, we want to help you to scale. All you need to do is book that call, get on a strategy call with our team, and we'll go through these numbers with you, and then we'll design the method or the strategy that's going to work best in your business. And then if it's the right fit and you like the software and everything else, shoot, let's get moving and let's go do it together. But again, this should give you a very good upper hand against all of your competitors, and it'll allow you to excel. And again, uniting your team by giving them something to rally around. With that said, I'm Sean, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Ciao for now. And there you have it, right? And then of course, if you click this link here, it takes you to a new page that will pop up the document, which then somebody can just scroll through. And then this one, as I mentioned, takes you right to a call booking page here. So that is all I had for you in terms of the strategy side of the things today. I thought that might be valuable for people to see what we're building, just because we like to share the stuff that works.